Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Cristiano Ronaldo apologises for mobile phone incident at Everton. Merseyside police are investigating what Cristiano Ronaldo has done. Ronaldo smashed an Everton supporter's phone. Mum claims Cristiano Ronaldo bruised and assaulted her son. I think Ronaldo will leave Manchester United this summer. Ronaldo was poor against Everton yesterday. He got a yellow card in the game. He had a late chance in the game, but it got blocked by Jordan Pickford. Ronaldo missed the game against Leicester last weekend. He was out with illness. Since Ronaldo re-signed for Man United, he's scored 18 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt and his contract at Man United expires next year. There's an option to extend for a further year. Ronaldo receives £500,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Now, I want to give you some more news on Erik Tenhack. So, according to the Manchester Evening News, Erik Tenhack dismisses Man United job as rumours. Earlier on this week, it said Manchester United were close to appointing Erik Tenhack as the new permanent manager. Tenhack wants to bring Robin van Persie back to Old Trafford as part of his backroom staff. But prior to the Everton game, it said Van Persie turned down the opportunity to work as a coach with Erik Tenhack at Manchester United. Tenhack has targeted 3 Premier League players if he gets appointed as Man United's next manager. Those 3 players are Harry Kane, Declan Rice and Ruben Neves. A couple of weeks ago, Tenhack got interviewed for the Manchester United job, and he told Man United chiefs he needs 5 years to overhaul the club. Tenhack's release clause is around 1.6 million, which is cheap. Ralph Rangnick wants Erik Tenhack to become Manchester United's next permanent manager, and a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see him get recommended in. It'd be good for him to come and experience the Premier League because he's not yet managed in the Premier League. And you've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. You know, Ajax has developed the young players well. He's won some Dutch Cups with them. He's won a couple of Eredivisie titles with them. And revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. He's been the Ajax manager for over 4 years. They appointed him in back in December 2017. His contract expires next year. Before Ajax, Erik Tenhack managed Utrecht, before then managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before managed Go Ahead Eagles. Mauricio Pochettino, he's been relentlessly linked with a managerial role at Man United. Not so long ago, Wayne Rooney told Man United to get Pochettino. And the vast majority of Manchester United players want Mauricio Pochettino as the next manager. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. Man United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson, even though Man United are not really known as a sacking football club. So the 4 managers we've sacked since Ferguson, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. He enjoyed a short managerial tenure at Man United. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Man United then sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Not so long ago it got revealed that Louis van Gaal has prostate cancer. I sent all my best wishes to him. I hope he fully recovers. Man United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. Mourinho did enjoy 1 good season at Man United because he won 3 trophies in his first season. The 3 trophies he won was the Community Shield, the EFL Cup and the Europa League. But the reasons it didn't work out under Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board and bad disputes with the top players. And last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. Ralf Rangnick, he's Manchester United's interim manager. He's been Man United's interim manager for over 3 months now. It initially said he's the interim manager till the end of the season, then he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. It said when he begins a consultancy role, Rangnick, he will only work 6 days a month. After the 1-0 defeat to Everton yesterday, Rangnick said it will be difficult for Manchester United to finish in the top 4. Well, Rangnick said earlier on this season, Man United's aim for this season is to finish in the top 4. There's been good performances under Rangnick, but there's also been a lot of poor performances as well. But I think he's totally blameless for the poor performances. The players have had to take responsibility as well. Man United don't only need a change of manager, we need a new squad as well. Before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. He's enjoyed 1 transfer window as the interim manager and unfortunately didn't get backed in the January transfer window. Don't forget earlier on this season, Rangnick recommended Ewan Sharping as an assistant coach and analyst. He also recommended Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he recommended Sascha Lenzin as a sports psychologist. We've got to get the Glazers out of the football club because they've been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 17 years now. They bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. Revert back to a few weeks ago, it said the Glazers were planning to demolish Old Trafford, as it said Man United looked to upgrade the stadium. It says we're looking to increase the capacity to around 80,000 at the moment. Old Trafford holds around 75,000. It's the second biggest stadium in England. It's an static stadium even though it's old. Man United have played in the same stadium for 112 years. Don't forget, towards the end of last season, a lot of Man United fans were protesting against the Glazers at the Carrington training ground and at Old Trafford, because obviously at that time the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. It was good news from a Man United perspective that Woodward stepped down earlier on this year, because he was one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time. He was accountable for how poor our recruitment policy was and that. Woodward, though, was Man United's vice chairman for around 17 years. Richard Arnold replaced Ed Woodward as the new CEO earlier on this season. In the last 10 years, Manchester United have only won 4 trophies. Man United have not won the Premier League since 2013. And in the last 10 years, Man United have spent over £1 billion. You know, we've definitely brought over 40 odd players in since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. And, you know, when we had Moyes, he brought 2 players in. You know, when we had Van Gaal, he brought around, 15, 16 players in, something like that. When we had Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the club, and when we had Solskjaer, he brought around 14 players in. We've just got 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Let me put into the equation, Rangnick is inheriting players who other managers have brought in, so none of this squad is his. In the summer of this year, I'm expecting Manchester United to make signings. Man United need a new midfielder, and we need a striker, and we also need a centre half. You know, someone who will complement Varane in our back line. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club this summer. Edinson Cavani, he will leave Manchester United this summer. He's out of contract this summer. The last time I read up, it said Cavani was close to agreeing a move to Real Sociedad. It said he held talks with Real Sociedad. Cavani's also been linked to a move to Brazil. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Cavani's out with injury at the moment, so he didn't play any part against Everton yesterday. Rashford, he could leave Manchester United this summer. He's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, especially throughout the course of this season. Prior to the game against Everton, though, it said Man United want Marcus Rashford to stay at the club this summer, despite his wretched run of form. Earlier on this season, Rashford told his friends he wants to quit Man United, and Romano mentioned earlier on this season that Marcus Rashford was considering his future with Man United as he was concerned about his lack of playing time. Rashford did play in the game against Everton yesterday, had some good early chances, but unfortunately didn't convert them. Rashford was dropped out of the starting lineup against Leicester last weekend. Rashford is a good player overall, but for me, he hasn't been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of this season with that shoulder problem. Earlier on this season, he had a minor leg injury. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time, came from our academy in that. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. And since then, he's gone on to make around 300, or it's nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. Lingard, I'm expecting him to leave this summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Lingard should have left in January this year, but Man United blocked his exit. Lingard doesn't really get in the team, but he has been part of the club for a long time. He risen up our academy. The second half of last season, he enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Juan Mata, I'm expecting him to leave as well this summer. He's out of contract this summer. Matt has had a good career at Man United. Matt has been at Manchester United for 8 years. So reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. We got Matt from Chelsea back in 2014. Got him for 37.1 million. Don't have a perception on Matt anymore. Doesn't really get in the team, does he? He lost his place in the team a while ago. He did come on yesterday against Everton. I'm expecting Van der Beek and Martial to leave permanently this summer. At the moment, Van der Beek's out on loan with Everton and Martial's out on loan with Sevilla. Matic, I think he'll leave this summer. He's out of contract in the summer. He's not one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he's been given his opportunities. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got at the moment. Matic did play alongside Fred yesterday against Everton. I think there was a moment in the game where Matic did handball it. He has been at Man United for over 4 years. Got him from Chelsea back in 2017. Got him for £40 million. Pogba, very good chance he'll be leaving Man United this summer. He's out of contract this summer. It's said from the Manchester Evening News not so long ago that PSG made an offer to Pogba. The Man United dressing room believe Pogba's gone. And Wayne Rooney is backed Pogba to leave. He's also backed Ronaldo to leave. Some Premier League clubs have been in for Pogba. Real Madrid, his former club Juventus, have also been in for him. So he's had a long-running transfer saga. Earlier on this season, he was out with injury for a while. He's endured quite a few injuries since he re-signed for the club, so he's injury-prone. Man United paid 89 million for Pogba, so he's the most expensive signing at the club at the moment. This season's been his 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far and he's played over 200 games since he re-signed. Phil Jones and Erik Bailly, I'm expecting them to leave this summer because they don't get in the team much. I'm definitely expecting us to offload Maguire this summer. You know, Maguire's not good enough to represent the club. You know, the other week it said Harry Maguire's Man United future was in doubt. Don't forget Maguire got booed for England not so long ago. He played yesterday against Everton and I thought he was poor. You know, his passing was wayward, couldn't really get out of his own half, and obviously Everton's goal got deflected off Harry Maguire. I can't understand how he's still Manchester United captain. You know, throughout the course of this season, a lot of Man United fans have been demanding for the captaincy to be taken off him. But Rangnick said earlier on this season that Maguire would remain Man United captain until the end of the season. We overpaid for him. We paid £80 million for him. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's the second most expensive signing at the club. Been at United over 2 years, Maguire, and he's had quite a few injuries since he came to the club. Bissaka, I think we could sell him this summer because he's not good enough. Defensively good, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. And Bissaka's not our first choice right back under Rangnick, Diego Dalot is. But Bissaka did start yesterday against Everton. He did alright defensively, but again, didn't get forward enough, didn't get into any good positions. Dean Henderson, I'm expecting him to leave this summer. If he doesn't leave this summer, he'll leave next year. Henderson's our second choice keeper, doesn't really get in goal. Henderson's only made 3 appearances this season. And Lee Grant, he's another one who I'm expecting to leave this summer. Lee Grant's what, our 4th choice goalkeeper. And next year, more players will leave Man United. You know, next year, Luke Shaw could possibly leave. You know, he's out of contract next year. And was it the other week, Luke Shaw came out and said he prefers playing for England than Man United. Fred, you know, do you think he could leave the club next year? Because he's not good enough, Fred. You know, Fred played against Everton yesterday, you know, came off injured in the game, had to be replaced by Pogba. Fred, though, did score the equaliser in the 1-1 draw against Leicester last weekend. Fred's had his good games at United, especially under Rangnick, but I don't rate him. You know, we got Fred a few years ago from Shakhtar Donetsk, got him for 50 million. You know, Lindelof could possibly leave the club as well next year. Tellez and Delors, they could as well. You know, Tellez and Delors maybe could leave this summer because they've been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation before. We've got a lot of players' contracts that do expire next year. So anyway guys, on my next video I will be giving you my player ratings for Man United's 1-0 loss to Everton. I was supposed to be doing it on this video, but I wanted to give you the news on Ronaldo and Tenhack. So anyway, take care, God bless, see you all again very soon.